we're live now. Been asked to talk to a community about moving your audience from Instagram to Substack. Um, Boy, that's a fun one, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can only ask, I guess. It, it's so funny, like you get sort of real like loyalty in one space, but
Mhm.
then to ask them to move to somewhere else always feels like this huge like commitment thing. I guess if they're not on the platform you're asking them to move to, then it is a big ask. But even when they're already on there, it's like you made the big decision, the big commitment to follow me over here, but that now I'm over here and you're here, but you're like, oh, should I? It's funny, isn't it?
It's why the building the email list thing. I mean, that's another thing too. Is like I don't know about you, but when I first got on Twitter or Instagram and all them, I just followed everybody. Oh, I know this person. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to follow them, knowing that like all their updates didn't come to my inbox.
Hmm.
Whereas when you're asking someone to like sign up for your email list, like, do I want, how many emails do I already get? Like, do I want to,
Well,
can
I was the opposite. So I
really?
don't yeah, I like hardly followed anyone.
Okay.
And I like I because as a visual artist, I don't
Mhm.
want to take too much inspiration from what I see around me. So like I don't follow hardly any artists.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, I yeah, it's I think in order to like curate barrage of information, I like prefer to keep. But now that you don't see who you follow anyway, it
Mhm.
is just a barrage now anyway. So it's a
Right.
weird. I think actually that this live might I might be able to get it to go out onto my podcast feed,
Cool.
which if I can work out how to do it, which will be really cool because you were I have to let you know last year in 2025 you were the second most downloaded episode of
Me?
all the creative rebels.
Goodness.
Yeah, little old you. Yeah, of
Little old me.
of all the creative rebels episodes last year, you were the second most downloaded.
Holy moly, that's wild.
So
Eh,
I think the name Social Media Escape Club, I think that because I have noticed like before my podcast, it was like the downloads are the downloads and like they're pretty much like the same, like just generally ticking upwards.
mm,
Um, Now very much a good title brings in like way more people, which is interesting.
oh,
And I
wow.
think Social Media Escape Club as a like one liner is
Mhm.
so powerful and you probably see that in your stuff so yeah I think it just got a lot of people through the door so yeah a lot of people listened to your episode which was a great episode can I just say.
Thank Yeah, I think back on that and where that went, and yeah, that was a good one, yeah, my goodness. Um, and I do get some people every now and again, reaching out to me, they'll email me like, "Yeah, I heard you on that podcast." I was like,
it,
"Oh my goodness, that's wild." So,
that's one of my favorite things about the podcast and I sort of like every now and then I will mention it like I love that you guys reach out to guests that I have on
mhm.
because then for me as a host it's like if a guest gets that email then they know that they didn't waste their time coming on the show and it's like oh this had impact people heard this.
Yeah, the friction involved in that too. I mean, you're listening to a podcast, like, the person must really be moved to go outside of that, open up an email, whatever, like, and to do all that, like, and I think we're entering a time where I think more friction is the name of the game, or I there's like like I said, there's just friction of like how we go about this rather than just willy nilly follow everything or like everything. I think we're being a little more cautious with how engaged we get into all this stuff.
100%. It's and I really like that actually. I think like the curation of where you're spending your time and where your commitments lay, I think is really beautiful. And if s- yeah, I think I guess I love podcasting because it is an hour chat or half an hour chat or 2 hour chat. It's like it's so much longer. Um, and because of that, the connection is stronger. And because the connection is stronger, then that means like it's going to spark people to write an email to take an action.
Mhm.
Whereas a 7 second reel is like nice in the moment, but then it's gone and it's
Right, right. Well, and that's a big thing too, even going back to how we initially opened this was like, "Oh, how do I get my Instagram audience to sign up for my Substack, like, or my newsletter?" It's just like if it's only that 7-second thing, like, how valuable or how in depth or how committed can someone really be to like, "Yeah, I need to subscribe to this."
Yeah, I mean, I always say, I think people get a little bit like blown away by the numbers of how, like, it's kind of scary. But on my Uh, so my Instagram, I think I've got 160,000 followers, something like that. It's
Mhm,
a large number. I've got 3,000 mailing list subscribers.
mhm,
So like big number up here whittles down into a very, very small number. And the people who are on my mailing list are like the diehard fans. They are the
mhm,
proper supporters. They're the people who are willing to pay for my work. They're the people who want to like own a piece of art and put it in their house. And like, yeah, and the other 157,000 people or whatever it is, like they 157,000 people, they are willing to follow me on social media, but that's where our relationship stops. And for me, if I had to choose, I'm choosing the mailing list all day, every day.
yeah, and because you said too that isn't that in your bio, like, the only place to buy my work is on my email list?
Yes. So I had a guest on the podcast recently called Marsha Shandur,
Mhm,
and she's Yes Yes Marsha is her venture, and I've been working with her since then because I just gone with her like a house on fire, and
mm,
she's been helping me craft my message for public speaking because I've
mhm.
been getting really into like standing on stage and doing keynotes and stuff like that.
Cool.
I love it. I love it. As a sidebar, if you are a visual artist or a creative, like doing talks about the thing that you do, if you can get over that fear of like standing in front of loads of people,
Mhm,
super like rewarding. The connection, the in-person interaction of the people, like the energy, everything about, I like fully recommend it. Anyway,
okay.
so I've been working with her to like sharpen and craft my message, and she's been nagging me. She's like, you don't tell people enough about your mailing list. She was
Mhm,
like, it's in your bio, but like where are you speaking about it? She's like, you're not pushing she's like, it's a bugbear of hers. She's like, you are not pushing people to your mailing list. So she was like, you can sit there and complain that you've only got 3,000 out of this large number. She was like, but where's the effort from you? I was like, all right, fair enough. Sorry, Marsha.
oof, and what a great message too of like, here's you with all these, followers and like, because I think we get so stuck in the idea of like, well, everyone just sees all my stuff. Or if they see it, they're gonna know. They'll know to join the email list. They'll know to go over here to buy the thing. And like that is so not true.
Yeah, and I think that if you find an artist or a musician or a poet or someone, and you like their stuff, probably the first thing to do is go and see if they've got a mailing list, because
Mhm.
I think like I definitely find on TikTok, if I find someone I like on TikTok and then I follow them, I that's it. I'm done. Like I don't see any more of their stuff after that follow.
Right,
It's like
right.
it's like and there's a lot of people that I really like that I don't follow on TikTok, and I just trust the algorithm gods that like, oh, I know he spends time watching these videos. Will serve more of them to him. I don't even follow the person.
Right.
And that's so flimsy. So if you find someone and like their work like gut punches you or it hits
Mhm.
you or resonates with you, like see if they've got a mailing list, or where the like more true way of connecting with them is going to be, whether it's on Substack or in real life. Like
Yeah.
this year, my New Year's resolution for this year is in person connection. It really is. Like I'm going all in. Like once a month, so anyone listening to this, if you're in London, once a month, I'm going to be having open paint sessions in my studio, where people can come in. I'll show them how to use a spray can. If you've never used one before, they are a beautiful, beautiful tool. Like you can take something that's this big and blow it up massive. Hugely fun to play with. So yeah, once a month, I'm going to be doing a paint session at my studio. And I was thinking, I saw something recently, and I'd love your thoughts on this, Seth, because I think, have you noticed how expensive in real life stuff is getting? Like theater
Yeah.
and it's live gigs and
Mhm.
and and like it's not even going to the artist. It's like it's not even.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
Going to rent. It's going to the rent and in the pockets of the owner people and all that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking about doing these paint sessions, and I was like, okay, um, the smart thing to do here would be to charge for this. But
Mm,
I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to make it completely free. And
mhm.
this is my maths of faith. Okay, and we'll see if this
Yeah.
works out. My maths of faith is going to be, if I do 10 sessions this year
Mhm.
and I do 10 people each session, that's 100 people that are going to come through my doors. And it will cost me every time because I'm paying the rent on my studio,
Mhm.
and I'll be paint and a cup of tea and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to
Yep.
be a charge on my side. Out of those 100 people, I am trusting that one of them gets a commission or has a project
Mm,
or books me for a speaking gig or knows someone who knows. Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
we'll reconvene in a year, and I'll tell you if it works or if I'm bankrupt. But like,
No, no way. I've been talking about this so much of like I said this on a live yesterday, that I did. I was just like, if you spend I mean, this isn't exactly, to what you're doing, but I was like, if you spend an hour a week talking to artists, like in your little creative orbit, doing your thing, an hour a week Zoom call or in person, whatever, I think that's gonna do so much more for you as an artist, as a person, as a human being than, staring at your phone for 4 hours a day. You know,
100%.
c even if it doesn't make a dime, the stuff that you're gonna learn and grow and appreciate and figure out together, like, all these Zoom calls that we could be on, all the things like you doing your thing. It's not like anything's a guarantee of like, "Yep, here it is, ding, success." Like, it's not. Like, you're taking the risk, and I think so much of all of this, the art, the music, the whatever, is risk, and there's no risk in posting on social media. That you could do it 100 times a day, you could do it once a day, it doesn't matter, like, but you're opening your doors. Like, come in, come hang out. I do a bunch of lives, I host weekly Zoom calls, like, come hang out. Like, not for the answer, but just for, like, the tension of what might be, of what might come out of that.
Every single opportunity that I've had in my career and my life has come from another person.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
and when if I had to plot how many of those have come from social media, sure, some of them have.
Yep.
Like, I don't. I was thinking about, because I know you do as well. Like, we rag on social media all the time. I was actually thinking about writing an article about like the things I love about social media,
Yeah.
because there are definitely bits, and
Yep.
like I am still on these platforms like 10 years in, and like, and they have changed my life. Like, they have changed my
Mhm.
life in a huge way. So I do want to, like, yeah, because I rag on it so much. I'm so like anti it at the moment. And I think the fact that every single opportunity that I've got has come from a person.
Mhm.
It's like, so how do I get in front of more people? And I can get in front of them on a screen. Like, there's a certain video that that I've got saved on my camera roll, that every time I put it out on whatever social media I put it out on, it does numbers. It gets views. Like, I know, like, it works every
Yeah.
single time. But it's like, how deep is that connection? Do you know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like, and it's great for getting people through the door. And I think you can build a connection online, but as soon as you move it into a tangible space and you get to actually look someone in the eye and shake their hand, it is just, yeah, it's so valuable. And like, I think, I mean, I remember when there used to be like networking events that I used to go to when I was first starting off my career, and people talk a lot of crap, right?
Mhm.
And I didn't meet like anyone during that time where I was like, I just wanted my people, I just wanted my community, my network, and it just wasn't happening. And
Mhm.
I think we're in a different space now. I think it's since the pandemic, where we are just looking for like proper connection.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I think it's starting to happen more often. And I'm noticing, the younger artists in London, there are all of these like show and tell events popping up, and come and paint and drink with us, and like all of these little in person things. And it's building these like really strong communities. I'm so totally here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, the in-person I last September, I set up at a punk rock flea market, and I made flyers for Social Media Escape Club. just kind of on the side. It wasn't like I didn't have a booth, but I just made flyers. I was just like, here it is. And I had conversations with about a dozen people that picked them up, and we had these great face-to-face conversations. It was like, the newsletter in real life, the website in real life, the Zoom call in real life of like, and it was this it was a younger crowd, it was a college crowd, it was a punk rock flea market, and we just had these conversations like, "Oh, I spend too much time on Instagram. Oh, I deleted Facebook a year ago." Um, from jovial, like, "Ha ha ha, it's so dumb, I hate it," to like, I had a real serious conversation with a guy that was just like, "It's horrible, it's evil, I deleted Spotify." This I was like, "Yeah, dude, okay, cool." Like, it's the whole gamut, and but it was like also, I mean, I'm still bubbling from that, and that was in September, and I'm trying to do more of that. Like, the thing I wanna do is, I wanna set up at more of these things and just talk. No, there's nothing for sale. Like, I just wanna have a chair. I wanna like, Lucy from Peanuts or the psychiatrist
Yeah, yeah,
in,
yeah,
like, yeah, the social media escape club guys here, like, 'cause all those people, all those artists, or makers that are at a punk rock flea market, I can imagine setting up a zine fest or something like that, like, 'cause I know, like, there's gonna be people that are like, "Yeah, I can't stand Instagram anymore," but I know there's gonna be people like, "Well, if I'm not on Instagram, how do I do it?" Like, I'm lost without it,
yeah,
and, like,
yeah,
I just love having those conversations, but again, it's the risk, it's what are people gonna say? Is no one gonna come up? It's but I think the gamble of that is just so much more rewarding in person, like, it's just magnified times 10 versus, "Oh, I got 10 more people following me on a social media platform."
yeah. Firstly, I think punk rock flea market is my favorite combination of 4 words that I've ever heard. I love
Yeah,
that so much.
that
Um,
pretty good, yeah.
and I think, um, I think what it is, did you say like the risk? Like all it is just being okay with starting small.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
And I think we are so conditioned that like it's like I jump in this live and I'm talking about how many Instagram followers I've got and it's a huge number and blah blah blah. And it's like it's considering that the only reason that I managed to get to that huge number was by breaking myself by posting way more. Like I 3 times a week was like the minimum that I was posting.
Ooh, okay.
And and I did that consistently for like a year and a half, like 3 times a week minimum, 4 or 5 times if I can. And these aren't videos where I'm like talking to camera. This is like me creating a full painting, which is going to be
Mhm.
like 8 hours minimum. It's like
Yeah.
it's I was breaking myself to build that audience. And I think when we talk about like building these communities, it's going to start off as you and two other people, or you and one other person. Like
Mhm.
that's and and then it's going to be just you three for 6 months, and it's okay, and to sit in that and to get everything you can out of the people that you are spending that time with. um and like I spoke at an event in Ireland called the Resonance Festival, and I was speaking to the organizer, who's become like a mentor to me. She's so incredible.
Mm.
And like I've put my business hat on and I was like, okay, so how are you looking to grow the festival? Like what's your plan? Like, and she was like, I don't want to grow the festival.
Mm.
She was like, there's 150 tickets because it's Dunbar's number. I wanted to be
Ooh,
150
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
She was like, every time we put out 150 tickets, they always sell out, and that's it. I don't want any more than 150. My mind was blown, Seth. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Because if you have the right 150 people, if you have the right audience, if you have, again, your email list, you said, like, those are the right people. Like, you again, your Instagram following and then your email list is way whoa, it's way down here. It don't matter. Like, those are people that are like, "Yo, I love what you do." And back to your point, and I talk to a lot of artists and creative people about this of like, "Yo, I only have 10 people on my email list. I only have 30." I'm like, "Congratulations." Like,
Yeah, yeah,
because now you can do what maybe David Speed can't do. Now you can do what Austin Kleon can't do, or this artist or that artist. Like, you can send an email to like half of them and be like, I'm doing this thing. Or, hey, how are you? Like the small time conversational stuff, like, which is just gold. It's like practice for like the after event, like hangout talk. Like, do that now while you can, while there's not 3,000 or whatever people. Like, make your mistakes in front of 10 people. Send that email with the wrong link. Oops. Like, learn that lesson. I always say too, like for musicians, like break a string in front of 10 people. Like, learn how to bomb at that in front of 10 people before you're like, oh no, I need 5,000 followers. I need, 400 people to show up to this thing. No, you don't. Like, you need what you're going to get that day.
The last email I sent out went out to 3,000 people, and I had tickets for an event that I was doing, and I got the wrong link for the wrong days. So everyone who thought they were coming on Sunday had a ticket for Saturday, and everyone who thought they were coming on Saturday had a ticket for Sunday. And the sorting out of that I had to do afterwards was like, oh, it killed me, man. It killed me. And I learned my lesson, like, check your links before you send it.
And you've been doing this for a minute, and like that still happens. That can still happen. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the small thing too, I want to say too, of like, in 2023, it was just like, once I changed the name of the newsletter to Social Media Escape Club, I was just like, I just want to talk to people about, getting away from social media. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do a weekly Zoom call. I'm going to hold myself to that. And those first couple calls, I asked, I had an invite link for people to sign up, sure. But I went behind I emailed some friends. Hey, can you come join me on this call? So I'm not maybe on this call with like a total stranger that I don't know who's going to show up. So yeah, those first couple calls that were 3 or 4 people, like half of them were like friends of mine that I asked directly. Just to start, just to bubble, just to go, just to learn, just to like fumble my way through an hour-long Zoom call. And so now, here we are 2026, and I'm doing like 3 a week of those and a couple lives and like learning like, but it was like walk before you run in all of this stuff.
Yeah, I think 3 years is the magic number. And I think I've spoken to enough creatives over the years on the podcast to realize that like 3 years really is a magic number.
Mm,
And I think we're so conditioned, mostly through the fault of social media, of I think what social media is very good at doing, and I mean, there's scientists working on how to do it, isn't there? Of like, of the dopamine of how it's fed to us,
mhm,
to keep us on there, to keep us engaged, to keep us posting. And when you start something very small, the dopamine hits are few and far between. And if you can set yourself a 3-year goal of like, I'm not going to be affected by the low numbers, the no attention, the screaming into the void of it all. I remember one of the first. I mean, we're going back when did I get on Twitter? Probably like 2010, I would say.
okay.
I remember sending out a really like passive aggressive tweet of like hi to all 6 of our followers. Do you know what I mean? Just like
Mhm,
I was like this. What is the point? Because it did feel like screaming into the void. And it because we have this thing of going viral,
yeah,
and TikTok broke the world. And you could go on there and all of a sudden because I see the videos come up and they go, here's how I got 10,000 followers in the last 3 months. And it's like this huge, like, because 10,000 followers, I mean, like, you can start to really sustain yourself if they're the right followers. Like,
mhm,
that's the startings of a business. And I think because we see that, we sort of think of this like quick growth. And it can happen, but it's
mm,
so hard to have that happen. And I think what's probably more sustainable is the slow and steady, like the 3 years, the dedicating yourself to it, no matter how much dopamine is getting fed to you.
mhm,
And trust me, I know it's hard to do. It's like I like on Substack, you need to write an article a week to consistently grow on Substack. I really do believe that. And I know this, but I still find it so hard to like, I write when I feel inspired to write. And because I'm painting most of the time, it's like it definitely takes a back seat, and I have my priorities sorted. But I
yeah,
would love to grow on Substack. I would
sure,
love to, but I just don't have the capacity to be putting out a weekly article. But if you decide like I'm going to grow on Substack, which means I need to do one article a week, and for the first like whenever you see one of those big experts and they show their graph, it's like it goes nothing, 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 slightly more, boom, and then it just got like it just takes off. But that nothing, that period of nothing, that's what you need to be able to sit through, and it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, so often it's just like, well, what are the 3 things I can do? Like, that's gonna, like and so, like, because on the other side of this, it's other humans, it's other people. Like, they're the ones that have to click subscribe or whatever, and, like, they're busy, they're doing stuff. There's a whole lot going on in the world right now, and, like, for we're not the center of anyone's world, really. And so, thankful for what you get and the effort you put in. I would say too that, like, if you're focusing, if you're painting, that takes a long time and energy and all that. Like, I think there's value too in that of like focusing on the work that you're doing, honing, getting better at what you're doing, making more work, because that's the stuff that just opens the doors later on for even your existing email list and things that you get to talk about when you get on stage eventually. Then too.
There's a couple of people who I've had on the podcast where you sort of ask them like, "What's your social media strategy?" and they just go, "Oh, well, I just when I've got something, I post it," and they don't really. And I've said that to people who've got like 500,000 followers, 1 million followers. It's like it's crazy, and
Mm,
it's like because I see a big number and I'm like, you must have a strategy to get here. And I mean, my number one example when I think of this is there's a photographer called Harris Newcomb, and I think to call him a photographer is a bit of a that doesn't paint him in the right light. The man is an artist. He is a
mhm,
visual artist. It's it like he's a wizard. It's incredible.
mhm,
And when you look at his work, you just go, oh yeah, of course. Like because the work is so good. The
mm,
work is so good. And then equally, on the other hand, I know people who like draw with a very like naive style, who like their technical skill is is there, but it's not like this massively polished thing. But because they understand social media, they're
mm,
able to take something that's not as good as like the best in the field,
mhm,
but do really well with it. But I think for me, like yeah, mastery is like if you can get to mastery, then the job of the job of promoting yourself becomes 5 million times easier because you simply are incredible at something.
Yeah, yeah. The like instead of spending, I say this a lot. Instead of spending 3 hours a day on social media trying to market, if you spent 3 hours a day practicing guitar or writing or but like behind the scenes, not even posting about it, not telling anybody about it, 3 hours a day over a year, like it's impossible for you not to be better at
Uh,
that thing.
a
And
hundred
so,
percent.
if you start from that space but your market, and then, okay, say maybe social media lets you get big, maybe you're not ready for that moment. Whereas if you practice and practice and practice, whatever, 3 years down the a whole year down the road, maybe then when someone links to your work, that's a big thing too, is when someone else sees what you're doing and says, "You gotta check out what this person's doing." Like that's worth a million times more, I think, than like our own social media strategy, our own email strategy. Someone else says you rock and look good, like strive for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 100%. Just to answer someone in the comments, they said the name of the photographer is Harris Newcomb,
Mm,
HARISNUKEM, and yeah, he's incredible. Have a look at his work. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think that uh, I mean I talk about this on stage actually, but I think the process of creation, like of your creative work, is that's for you, and it's so beautiful. And no matter how many followers I get or opportunities I get, the goal for me is always just me on my own in the studio, looking at the blank canvas. And sometimes it's type 2 fun because sometimes it's really not fun at all in the moment. Like I've had paintings where it's been such a drama for me to finish it, and I've hated every minute of it. But then at the end of it, that's when it's fulfilling and rewarding. And getting into flow state and spending 6 hours in a painting is like is so beautiful, or writing your novel or whatever the thing that you do is. And then once you've done that and you've spent all of that beautiful creative time with yourself, you then have the option to put it out into the world and see if it makes other people feel things.
Mhm.
And if it does make people feel something, like if I think back to the beginning of my career, which by the way is only 2020, so it's only 6 years ago, um, like I didn't have the courage to call myself an artist until I was 37 years old in 2020, and I I just I didn't want to be stuck in my house. I just started making street art, and I had this rough idea I liked, but I didn't know if anyone else would like it. In fact, I actively thought they probably wouldn't,
Mm.
because I discovered this pink paint, this beautiful pink
Mhm.
pigment, and I was like, I love this. I just want to play around with it. But because it's pink, pink's had a rough go of it over the years.
Sure.
Throughout art history, it's been a color that's been like diminished and looked down upon, and all of these stories heaped upon it. Um, and I was just like, I forget all that. I just want to play with it. But I didn't expect anyone to like it. I thought I would find a small group of people who got what I was trying to do. Um, but more important than anything, I just didn't want to be stuck in my house.
Mhm.
And very kindly, all of the shop owners of East London have decided to board up their windows for me to go and have all of these like temporary canvases,
Mhm.
which is very kind. So because it was just like low stakes, it was just like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get arrested for painting on these boarded up windows. Everywhere in East London was a ghost town. It was so weird. So I just started going and painting on these very temporary, and some of them ended up on eBay, and it's a whole funny story. Um, but I just had to get out of the house. And then gradually, bit by bit, people were like sharing them and
Mm.
doing their lockdown walks around my work, and DMing me saying you're brightening up my lockdown. And my whole career, my whole fan base and everything just started with this very small, local East London based group of people who were walking around my work and seeing it in real life.
Mm.
And when I look at the people who've bought paintings from me, and thus because they bought paintings, am able to pay my rent and pay for my studio and feed myself and put clothes on my body and survive. So the people that have survived, I would say 90% of them have seen something that I've made in person,
Mm.
whether it's they've come to one of my shows, or they've seen a piece of my work in the street. Um, and as beautiful it is as having like all of those social media followers, and that's so great and whatever, it's like, here's another thing for you as well. Like, because I use neon paint, a phone screen cannot capture neon colors. A tech expert was breaking this down for me, and I'll butcher it, so I won't try and explain it. But there's like, I think you have RGB on your digital display, and neon doesn't fit in the RGB pattern of things. So you can't accurately create neon colors on a screen. So the people who see my work in person, it is a different experience. It can't be the same as through a screen, because I can't show you my colors through a screen. So um, when I realized people that buy my work have seen it in real life, I started to, and this is why I only posted times on Instagram last year. I realized, well, should I be focusing on trying to get people to see it on a screen, or should I focus on them seeing it in real life? And that's when the priority shifted away from social media and getting eyeballs in front of my work, hopefully bringing light and joy and happiness and all the things that I try to do with my work. And then as a result of that, for every 1,000 eyeballs that see it in person, one or two or 10 will buy something, and then I'll be able to make more work. And the beautiful cycle continues.
Yeah. I just read, a piece from another artist that said that too, that they were focusing on their art sales locally instead of online because of the trust factor. You get to talk to the person, you get to talk to the artist at the punk rock flea market or the gallery or the this or the that. Like there so much of this is trust. And because look, the internet is the internet right now, especially with AI. Everything, what's real, what's fake. Like there's videos that we fall for. Oh, this is a neat video. Oh, and then we're like, oh no, this is totally AI. You see it in the comments. So the stuff in real life is built on trust, and I think that's so like it gets back to what we've done and how we've done it before social media, before the internet, was like doing stuff in person.
Yeah, they say that everything's cyclical, don't they?
Sure.
Um, and I mean, yeah, we're coming back to it, and I am here for it. I think the AI slop thing is, I don't want to get too, otherwise we'll spend the
Oof.
next hour
Sure.
speaking about it. But like, um, I've seen murals that are not real, and Facebook is the worst for it, because I think that all the boomers are so easy to trick,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, this is so beautiful. I love it." It's just like, "Oh, come on." It's heartbreaking. Um, and to take like a big building side mural will takes like a week, like a couple of days. Like it's a real effort to generate that in a few seconds, and
Mhm.
to take the humanity away from it and all of the imperfections. And I I love that my work's not perfect, and I love that because I use spray paint, you get this like this little bit of overspray and all of these. Like, I try and get it as perfect as possible, but as much as I strive for it, I can't. I can never fully get rid of every like little sprinkle of paint, and that's what gives it its intangible beauty. Like, looking really deeply at a painting, and I saw a clip. There's a comedian in the UK called Stuart Lee. He's a funny man, and they were talking about the immersive experiences that you go to, where they take a Monet painting and it's all around the room, and how that was exactly the opposite of what Monet was trying to do. Like, he wanted you to walk up to the painting and immerse yourself and imagine that you were in this world,
Mhm.
instead of it being like projected out for you and made for
Yeah.
you. And I think the AI slop is the same thing. It's just it's this I, why, like, I think they came. I think this is a conspiracy theory, but I think they came for the artists first. I think they came for the artists first because we are the most vulnerable group. We are the easiest to exploit, and they did it very sneakily in like terms and conditions. And
Mm.
we were all signed up, and none of us knew we were signed up, and everything was trained before, and it was too late. It was too late to take it back. It's all like,
Mm.
everything of mine is in there. It's gone. It was stolen. And I think they came for the artists because we don't have the power to, and once that was the footing. That was like, oh, we're in, and it's sort of, I see people doing these like chat GPT. So I'm AI vegan. I don't use it at
Okay.
all. I as soon as I heard about the water usage and what it's doing to the planet, I was like, I can't with good conscience like go and chat GPT a recipe that I could just like take 5 seconds longer to go to a cookbook. Like, do you know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
fuck it. So I'm off. I don't. I'm sure I use it by accident.
It's
I've
everywhere.
changed my
Yeah.
I've changed my browser to DuckDuckGo, because
Okay.
if you do searches on there, there's no AI results.
Mm.
And if you do an image search, if an AI result comes up on DuckDuckGo, you can flag it, and they'll get rid of it, which is
Okay.
beautiful.
Cool. Cool.
So I try not to use it at all. But I see people making these caricature things of themselves, and the the justification seems to be it's just a bit of fun. And like, fuck you. It's this is built on theft of artists,
Mm.
but not to mention like the fact that these data centers are being built in low income areas. They are so like, AI is racist, it's classist, it's like, there is so much at play here, that I will happily live in a world that is like, I wrote a little article about it on Substack, and I said in the article, like, I feel like I may be one of those people who, like, a, a life changing piece of tech comes along, and you always get certain people who are like, that's not for me.
Mhm.
You keep your cars. I'm sticking with this horse. I know where it's going. Do you know what I mean? And history proves you to, but it's a hill I'm willing to die on, because I can't see ethically. I just can't. Ugh. Anyway, sorry, we opened the Pandora's box of
Woo,
AI.
woo, woo, but not to your point though, like so much of that stuff though, just I mean, sure, it's seeping now into the real world, of course, but like, but if you have 10 people in your studio, that there's no AI there. Like, I mean, that's as real. Like, people keep talking about, oh, the AI music on Spotify. Well, the AI music isn't at the club on a Tuesday night. It's not at the open mic night. It's not some like shy musician that's never performed in front of people. They don't know how good they are, and they get up in front of people, and people start crying because like that's magic. That's not happening with AI. That's happening in the real world, in real life, like where people go out and they put their phones away. Not everyone's staring at their phones.
I love what you said. Actually, I think that is my marker for success now, and I think I'm going to write it down somewhere. But like
Mm,
10 people in your studio.
yeah.
That's what you're shooting for, is 10 people in your studio. Can you get 10 people in your studio? Because from that, magic comes.
Can you get 10 people on a Tuesday night at a show? Like for
Mm.
small musicians, small artists, small whatever. Like, can you get 10 people on a Zoom call? Can you get 10 people to like meet up in a city somewhere next to like a big event or something like that? It's the person to person stuff. The other people part is the magic of all this. Like, yeah, social media and everything makes it so easy. Like, I can just pull the lever and like 10,000 people can see it, which increases my chances of two people. I get it, but like, uh, there's email addresses too, or there's talking to people. Spontaneous conversations at events can happen too, or you could be intentional and go to events. Like I just saw there's an event going on for a bunch of community leader folk, like kind of in the tech world, in New York City, and they're doing it with no speakers. They're doing it solely to just get all these creative, like community kind of people together, talk talk amongst yourselves. Like
Great.
like yes, like the intentionality of that and like what's going to happen from that is magical.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I read there's someone I follow on Substack. I think I found her from a recommendation from you. Is it
Carly
Carly
Valenci.
Valanci?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So I read something that she put up the other day about the someone sent an email and then ended up getting married in on the Super Bowl.
yeah. Emailed Bad Bunny, like,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
obviously their management or whoever, but like, yeah, take that shot. Like,
yeah,
who knows where that goes? Like,
yeah.
there's and Carly's always talking about the opportunities that come up and like, or the seeds you plant today that you're not ready to cash in for a decade from now. Like that's
Oh, dude.
true.
Yeah, that's been such a huge part of my career is that patience of uh like I've never rushed anything because when the time is right, it comes through. I'm a big believer in that, and I think the my my strategy for my career has always been plant flags.
Mm,
And a flag is an Instagram post. It's a business card that you give out to someone. It's a piece of street art. It's a poster. It's a flyer that you left on the train that someone picks up. Like plant as many flags as possible. And it's so crazy how long it sometimes takes from someone discovering a flag to then that becoming an opportunity for you. It can be like 3, 4, 5 years and or longer. But the more flags that you plant, the more things do come in. It's like that. I mean, that really is. It's such a like basic version. Like this is how you to have a career. I 100% believe it is plant flags, flags. Everywhere you go, it's a flag, which means like when you go to that event and you're feeling shy, you have to like click your fingers and this is exactly what I do. I put this persona on. I'm just like,
oh,
okay, confident David, like here we go. And I just fake it. And then once I've spoken to 3 people, then I'm fine and I'm rolling and it's good. But like
mhm,
getting yourself out of that, because there's been so many times where I could have gone home. I could have been like, do you know what? I'm tired and like, and because I am an introvert and but you just have to have those conversations because you need to get your flags out there.
mhm.
From the flags the opportunities come.
A big part of that too is when because you referenced it earlier of like, oh, networking events. Ooh, like you got to be extrovert, you got to be like flashy and this and that, and there's so many people that aren't that and and do great work, and like we're out there, like we want to have conversations. Like I don't want to hang out at a noisy bar either. Like hang out on a back porch or a quiet coffee shop. Like that exists. Like people like I think about like, the industry I work in, the music industry is filled with a lot of brash, forward, super confident music people. Man, that just not me. Like, and I've been doing it for 20 some years. But that I don't want to play that game.
Yeah.
I don't want so like I find my people and like, calm, quiet, chill, whatever people. And I'm thankful that I get to work with some of them and like they're out there. And but to put yourself out there, like if you like we all like, have our opinions of like say Mr. Beast or Gary Vaynerchuk on YouTube, like, oh, so loud, blah, blah. Well, we need to put our quiet selves out there too. Like our quiet, like recipe people making whatever they're like, hi, welcome to Quiet Collage Corner.
I was really scared when I put my podcast out because I'm not that loud,
Mm,
crazy personality. And I really worried that people wouldn't listen to it. And but you find your people. And I'm so proud of how the podcast has grown because it is a labor of love. And I don't, I should work on it more in terms of like marketing it, but I just don't.
mhm.
And the way it
Sponsorships,
markets
right?
is,
You gotta get sponsors on there, right?
I mean, I should go after a sponsor to be honest because it would make my life so much easier. But because I pay for it all out of my own pocket.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it cost me like £500 a month to just to make it.
Yeah.
Um, and which like that's a lot of money. Do you know what I mean?
It
It's
is.
a lot. And I'm still not paying my editor like what I should be paying
Mm,
if like I was paying the proper rate because she's a sweetheart. But it is truly is a labor of love. But the way that it's grown is that people do share it with each other
mhm.
and they go, I found this really useful and I'm trying to make it as a creative and I know you are too and this like try this podcast, it will help. And
Yeah.
that's just
Well,
yeah.
and two, like here, you giving the space for people to come on there and share how they share and speak how they speak, and like it's just years ago, I never understood. I think I may have told you this in our last conversation, but very young Seth, I didn't get street art because street art didn't have like a domain name next to it where you can go and buy the thing or whatever like that. It was like, "Well, what's all? It's like marketing, but there's no, where's the pay?" I was like, no, it's just like this beautiful thing that's just out there in the world, and it's like almost permission then of like you can see that and then like, oh, maybe I can do that then. Or I could do it in my own way. And I think like you with the podcast or so many of us like writing the way we do, or doing the radio shows we do, or making the YouTube channels we do. It, you know, even though it's not optimized to be viral, but like no, it's permission to be like, I can do it the way I want to do it.
There's an article on my Substack. I think it's called "Outside is the New Inside," and it is my advice for people to make street art. I think street art is one of the most like gate kept uh, things that people think is not for them. And I also think that when you say to a person the word street art, they think that they have to go and paint a mural, and it's like it can be literally anything. So I say in the article, whatever the thing that you do is, hello, young man, whatever the thing that you do is,
Love that
try
jacket, by the way.
try it outside. So
Yeah.
one of the I think I might have told you this already, but one of the coolest projects I saw last year was by an artist called Might Delete Later, and I took my dog for a walk and I saw flapping on a lamppost. You know, you get those flyers with like the hanging off bits where
Yeah.
you can pull off a thing. So I went up to this flyer and it said, "Leave me a voicemail and I will make a song from it." So I pulled off one of the things, and I think that is the coolest project I've seen because like the music that artist creates, every single song is going to be informed by the voicemail that they
Mhm.
get sent. So that song wouldn't exist in the world unless you take the time to send the voicemail in, and that will completely inform the music that gets made. Um, that's just so perfect, and that is street art. Street art, like
Mm.
what I love about street art is that I'm passionate about it, as you can tell, but like is that it takes you out of the ordinary. It's something that has popped up where you didn't expect it to be.
Mhm.
So if you are a writer, um, take a page of your latest novel and print off 10 of them and go and leave them on the train. Just like leave them on the seats of the train, or go to those magazine stands they have outside of a train station and
Mhm.
stuff them into the magazines. Um, right, like engrave your poetry on a padlock. Like just do something and put it outside and see what comes from it. And then I said this in the article as well. Like if you can then document that and put it online, like guaranteed it will do well. Guaranteed it will do
Mhm.
well because people love seeing weird stuff like that happening outside.
Yeah. Well, even that is permission now. Like, you telling that story, people listening to this are like, "Wow, I never thought of that." Like, and that permission just keeps going and going and going to, like, of opening these new possibilities, and which is why too we have conversations like this. You do the podcast, or you have 10 people in your studio. I have my calls. Like, we're just always learning from one another. Like, which is the best way to do this stuff is like seeing how other people are doing it, and seeing like how they got the idea, where they got the idea from, and then we all just take it, like, rather than let's go watch this the guru that says this is how you do it. This is how it's done. Guaranteed results. Make 10,000 a month. Like, get out of here with that. Again, it comes back to trust. You trust people that are on a Zoom call or in your studio space that say they did this or they did that. You trust that. Like, they're there. They're like, hopefully they're, I'm sure they're being somewhat honest about the stuff. Like, you could tell there's cues. And that stuff's beautiful. I think so much of it comes back to trust.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I would recommend that every single person starts a podcast.
Mhm.
And I mean, I know I already said like how much work it is, and it is a lot of work. Um, but literally, like Seth, you and I are friends, and like
Mhm.
we wouldn't be if I hadn't reached out and said, "Come on my podcast." Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
and I think, I mean, I spoke to Peter Yee the other day, who's the iconic designer from Oakley, who designed like the Oakley shades that like go over the top of your
Oh,
head, and
yeah.
and those the ones that Michael Jordan wears, like all of those are like iconic sunglasses. Um, that's not the sort of person that I can just like say, "Hi mate, can I have an hour of your time for a chat?"
Mhm.
But when I say I'm going to record it and turn it into a podcast, then yeah, I can,
Mhm.
and I can ask him anything, anything that I want to know, I can
Uh-huh.
ask him. And it's such a like I said earlier, I'm friends with Marsha now. Yes, yes, Marsha. Like, I'm friends with Sophie T, million followers on Instagram, incredible artist. Like all of these, like it has totally enriched my life and it's changed my practice because if I talk to an expert every single week, then the all of the techniques like become concrete. They like
Mm.
because if you hear people say that stuff enough times, like it just becomes part of your being. You don't have to think. It just happens. So I think everyone should reach out, like do podcasts, put them on. I think Substack is a great platform for it. It's such a great way to just to open your circle, to make new friends, to and I'll be your first guest. Like if you like,
Heck,
I'll be on your podcast.
there you go.
Um, like just start one. Like it's incredible the things. And one thing that someone said to me as well is you should always you should podcast with your family as well. So grandparents and parents because and you don't have to put it out online, but just have that interview so you've got it to look back to in years to come as well.
That yeah, that touches on something, like, really precious, I think, too, of, like, we are so because of social media, we're so, like it's either we're doing morning pages, which is just for us, no one sees it, no one of course, or it's to everybody, like, "Oh my god, it's out there," and, like, my newsletter goes to everybody, my social media whereas, like, there's so much space in between those 2 spaces. Like, you can do a thing, like you just said, you can make a podcast of family, which is only for you and, like, siblings and so of course, but, like but you can also make work and, like, just share it with a few people too. Like, it doesn't have to go out to everybody. "Hey, I'm working on this new thing," or, "This is something new I did." Like, just to have, like, a few people on a text thread or an email thread, like, again, it's just the right people on, like, an email thread or a small community that you meet with and, like, have these discussions with is just so powerful. I always just think of and I don't know why I think of this person all the time, but I think of, like, Hayley Williams from Paramore. Like, how many people would, like, pay money to be on a text thread with Haley Williams, like to talk about music. Or could you imagine? Because there are people that get to text with people like that, like about, oh, I'm working on this new record, or I took this photo, like, oh my goodness, I'm working with this client, or that, like, wow, what an exciting thread. And it's just like, we can make exciting threads too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we don't need to wait. Like we don't need to get picked by Haley. Hey, I don't know how many of us are going to meet Haley Williams to do that, but like we could start where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. As you were talking there, it made me think of, uh, so I interviewed Oliver Jeffers on the
Mm,
podcast, who is, most people know him for his like children's illustrations. He did the book about the crayons. If I don't know if you've seen that as well. Anyway, sold millions of books. But um, I spoke to him, but he's an artist as well, and not many people know that. He does this project called the Dip Paintings, which is one of my favorite projects ever, all
mm,
time. So, and it's just so the opposite of social media and everything that how we're programmed these days. He paints these beautiful oil paintings, realistic portraits of people, and then if you are lucky enough to get an invite, you go to this evening where he has a big vat of paint in the middle of the studio, and he dips these paintings into the vat of paint. So the only people who ever will have seen the portrait without the dip are the people who saw it in the room.
mm,
So 10, 20, 50 people that are this like exclusive event. And he was talking about how is kind of about memory and about how, because he interviews the people that he's painted, the subjects.
mhm,
He interviews them sort of a couple of years later and says like, what do you remember about the portrait? And as it goes through the years, it becomes like more and more basic, like more they forget a lot of the details, and we sort of, the way we sort of like paint these images in our brain. Really interesting stuff. But I
mm,
just love that idea of most people paint a beautiful oil painting and then they put it on social media to try and get the maximum eyeballs on it as possible.
yeah.
And he's like, no, this many special invited guests are going to see it, and they're going to be the only people that are going to see it because I'm submerging half of it, and everyone else can see it where when it's like half covered. Such a genius project.
The tension in that, right? The finality in that. Like it's just, this is all that sees it. The festival that you said that only sells 150 tickets. This is it. That the finality of stuff, the limited stuff, the yeah, there's magic in that too of how you do that and how you can present that in a way that like that serves the audience that you're trying to serve.
And it feels counterintuitive, but it's something that I like. It's what I do with my career is I try and make sure that people know that it's for them and it's special, and I'm not trying to go viral with it,
Mhm.
because I think that people appreciate that so much more. If you're in the room for one of Oliver Jeffers' dip paintings, you feel like special and invited and like an exclusive bunch. I mean, when Billie Eilish added everyone to her close friends list on Instagram, it was like that's a version of it, but it's such like a huge scale, and everyone got in.
Mhm.
And I think there is something like I like doing treasure hunts. So I've on a number of occasions I've hid over 1,000 pieces of work across London, and I walk like more than 60,000 steps a day, and I do
Mm.
250 pieces in North London, East London, South London, West London, um, and but it's scare. It's even though it's 1,000 pieces of art, it's still scarcity. And I have
Mhm.
people in my emails going, I wasn't able to get one, and I searched for it, and I missed you by 3 seconds in Brixton, and like all of these stories and the connection with people that I've had, whether they found a piece or didn't find a piece. And I think just yeah, finding those ways that you can make your audience feel special, um, and feel like they're part of the club. Like
Yeah.
this is you're my people. We're all together, and and it feels counterintuitive because what we're told is like go viral, hit everyone, and I just. And that's why I didn't post much last year is because I didn't want to hit everyone. I wanted to hit my people
Mhm.
only. Um, and it's very difficult, I think, to I always find when I go viral, I get like stage fright. I don't post for a while afterwards because I like all of these new eyeballs are on me. and they don't know my story like the other people do. They don't know what I've been through, what I believe in. They don't know that I think this politically,
Mm,
and do you know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yep.
It's because I would love to have a something pop up before you follow me and go like, are you like, are you cool with like, do you think AI is cool? Are you well into ice? Do you think they're really brilliant?
Do you
What
support
do you
that
think about,
mission? Yeah.
yeah, what do you think about the Orange Man? Like all of these
Mm.
things, and that would just be oh, sorry, you're not allowed to follow me. Sorry,
Huh?
but you can't do that. It's like it's open to everyone.
Yeah, the open to everyone-ness of it. Um, the photographer, I think he's on this chat, on this call, Noah Kalina. He posted a great photo on, I think, Instagram Threads, and he's a photographer. 20 some years of being a pro photographer. And he took a beautiful photo of his kitchen with the table and the light and this and that, and it went viral on Threads. And he made a video about it of just like everybody was like, "That's AI, that's fake. This and here's why, and this is how, and this blah blah blah." And he showed the spike like for 1 or 2 days. It was just like this, and like, and then it completely went away. And yeah, he called it, or it's a thing, context flattening, I guess, where people all of a sudden show up at this thing. They have no context. They don't know he's a photographer. They don't know he's been doing this for a while. Like,
Yeah,
and they're able to just like, chime in how they chime in with no context, which is wrong. And it wasn't AI. And yeah, so yeah, the thing about it being open to everybody, I even saw an artist, a musician on Substack notes today of like, they put up their music on YouTube and one person was really mean about it, and like, because it's for everyone. It's out there for everyone. And they're like, but they were thankfully they were bolstered by, oh, but I know I have this audience of mine already that loves it. And like, okay, that's fine. But this, the out there for everyone-ness of everything, it can yeah, I love the idea of keeping it small. Keeping it.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard people say like, oh, if everyone loves it, then it's generic, and
Mhm,
it's important that some people hate your work. And I know it's true, but it doesn't make it any easier. Like
mhm,
it is super difficult. And someone in the chat was saying about how hard it is as an introvert to, when you all of a sudden do go viral and you get all of this attention, and a lot of the people, just through the law of averages, can't, they're not your people.
mhm.
They're not on the same vibe as you. It is yeah, it's so difficult to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the most part too, we weren't made to operate like that either. Like, social media made that happen. Social media, like, showed, you know, they can point their fire hose at wherever they wanna point it to and make someone a star for the day, and then, like, the next day, this other photographer is gonna have their photo shown to everybody, and everyone's gonna fight over the AI-ness of that, like, on Thursday, and it's just gonna keep going, like, yeah, social media really inflated and, it smoke and mirrors, like, "Oh, that must be really big and popular." Well, it's not really, like.
Yeah. Every creator that I have on the podcast that's got over 1 million followers, I ask them, how did it feel when you got to 1 million followers? And I interviewed Dr. Rachel Barr the other day, who she's got over 1 million followers. And I said to her, how did you feel when you got to that big number? And she was like, absolutely nothing. And she has such a, I'm really excited for the episode's not out yet, but I'm excited for it to
Mm,
come out. But she has such a healthy um view around social media, and how she uses it to, it's there to amplify her message, and
mhm,
that's what she uses it for.
cool.
um and I was just sort of saying to her, like, I wish that I could be like that. Like, I have a
Mm,
fraction of the followers that she does, but um I I do, like, I really take it on, and I like panic, and I hate getting any negativity on it. And I mean, she's had horrific. I mean, I'm have the privilege of being a male on the internet.
oh boy, yeah.
I mean, firstly, she's a scientist. Secondly, she's female. I mean, so she gets all of the bullshit. She
Mm,
gets it, and I feel so sorry. But I find that so hard to deal with. and yeah, and I mean, it really circles back to everything we've been talking about. It's like I know if I have an event in my studio that no one's going to come up to me and go, "Oh, I don't like this." It's like,
Mhm.
cool, yeah,
Yeah, there's such a need or no, I think it's not just a need, but, like, I think it's okay to want to do things small. That to work with small, to work with exclusive, to work with, like, the people that you wanna work with in your little creative orbit, like, and learn and figure that out as you go, like, instead of relying on the virality and
yeah.
thinking that's gonna be the ticket to stardom, so
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know loads of musicians, like, because I think of music when you say that. I'm sure you know loads of musicians who never had a number one hit song,
mhm.
but have been consistently making a living for music for decades.
Absolutely. Yeah, if
Yeah,
you have a handful of fans, you don't need a million fans. You need the right people that love your work and wanna support what you do, and, you know, is that easy? Nope, but none of this is easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. If it's easy, everyone would upload yeah, sure, AI music to Spotify. Great. That's a thing now. Who cares? That who's making money on that? Maybe they'll make money for a minute doing that, then what? Then it's I don't wanna chase that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm. Well, David, we've, gone over we passed the hour mark.
Oh, dude. Well,
Thank
it's always easy to talk to you, Seth. So
this yeah, this is and we didn't even dive into, thankfully, the AI conundrum too badly. But no, this is so good. I appreciate especially to appreciate your patience and everyone else's too. Substack had a hiccup this morning, so that kinda put a damper on things, but I'm glad we were able to be here and do this and talk and excited to keep following. I know we had in the chat what the if you want to talk about like your publication, your podcast for people listening right now.
yes, the podcast is called Creative Rebels. Every week I talk to a creative genius. I've had Seth on the show. It was our second most downloaded episode last year. Our most downloaded episode along the same theme was The Girl with No Internet, August Lamb. And we had a uh, fascinating conversation. August has no internet whatsoever.
Mhm.
She goes to New York Public Library once a week and uploads to her Substack and checks her emails. But other than that, she's not online at all. And meeting up with her in New York was very, very challenging. And at one point, she
Yeah.
was emailing me from the computers in the Apple Store. Um, and she was like, I got this string of emails, and then she was like, "They're going to kick me out. They're getting really annoyed with me." I was like, so that was our most downloaded episode. But yeah, I mean, I've had so many incredible creatives on there, and the goal of if I could sum the podcast up in one sentence, it would be just keep making stuff. I think that's what it all comes down to. It's the podcast I wish I had when I was 20 years old,
Mm,
when I was lost in the woods and everyone was telling me that I couldn't be a creative full time. And from all of these brilliant minds that I've had on, the overwhelming thing that comes through is just keep making stuff. Because through the things that you will make, you will process the world around you. You will learn what resonates with people and what doesn't. You will find your niche, you'll find your groove, you'll find your people, um, and you'll get better at what you do.
mhm.
So just keep making stuff. I think make is the most important word that we have, and it is my mission on this planet to encourage people to make stuff. Make as many things as you can. Leave behind a legacy of beautiful things that you've made. Make, make, make.
Wow. Let's end on that. That's the message for the new year for
Boom.
2026. Let's keep riding that for sure. Yeah. Thanks again, David.
All right, I love you, buddy. Anytime you want me to jump on, just let me know.
Absolutely. I'll make sure you get the download of this file too. So
Thanks,
I'll send
man.
it to you. Absolutely. Bye, everybody. Have a
Bye,
good one.
everybody.
Take care.